video on the channel. I've had a few ideas that I wanted to get out, and it's a bit late, but this is very telling, this clip here that I want to share. I've been meaning to add my thoughts and views on the election that just passed, and I'm going to try to keep it simple and just share with you this video, which I'd consider to be a prediction as to what would happen and what indeed did happen in the 2020 election in the United States. It's a prediction by Tristan, who's a man who created and who's behind the film The Social Media Dilemma, which basically explores how social media influences society today. And it's quite telling. It's a very popular documentary exploring how social media influences us today. So the clip that I'm going to share with you is from the Joe Rogan podcast when Tristan was on. And Tristan basically outlines how things would play out in 2020. So I'll play for you now.
High quality experience for people.
Yep.
So,
JB Hi-Fi smashing prices with crazy deals. Like this Garmin Forerunner and Vivo Active 3 Sports Watch just half price. These Sony noise cancelling headphones.
that's beginning of the end.
Yeah. So 2012 on YouTube's timeline. I mean, the Twitter and Facebook world, I think, introduces the retweet and reshare buttons in the 2009 to 2010 kind of time period. So you end up with this world where the things that we're most paying attention to are based on algorithms choosing for us. And so the sort of deeper argument that's in the film that I'm not sure everyone picks up on it.
Okay, so this is very key. This is the deeper argument that he's going to make. Listen closely to this one.
Is these technology systems have taken control of human choice. They've taken control of humanity because they're controlling the information that all of us are getting.
Right.
Think about every election. I think of Facebook as kind of a voting machine, but it's a sort of indirect voting machine because it controls the information for 4 years that your entire society is getting, and then everyone votes based on that information. Now you could say, well, hold on, radio and television were there and were partisan before that, but actually radio and TV are often getting their news stories from Twitter, and Twitter is recommending things based on these algorithms. So when you control the information that an entire population is getting, you're controlling their choices. I mean, literally in military theory, if I want to screw up your military, I want to control the information that it's getting. I want to confuse the enemy. And that information funnel is the very thing that's been corrupted. And it's like the Flint water supply for our minds.
I was talking to
So digest that for a minute. I'd love to hear what you think about it. That's, in my opinion, is the prediction that Tristan Harris is making about the outcome of the elections. And at the very least, it explains to me how 77-year-old Biden won the election. I said this recently, that if the media or if social media is in control of the information that we have, how can people make an objective decision? If all they are told for 4 years is how bad a person is, without giving any shred of credit or basically fair treatment, I'm not overly surprised that things have panned out as they have, because that is the choice that people have given. They've only been given one choice, and that is Joe Biden. And now the world is trying to make sense of it. Donald Trump is obviously trying to make sense of it. I personally don't see how Joe Biden won. But we are not dealing with a merit-based system. We're dealing with a political system that has this new player, this new component of social media. And it makes me wonder how future elections will be. But at the end of the day, if 90% of the media, or if 90% of social media, or if all you hear about one potential candidate is negative, then that's all you're going to get. But Joe Biden has been out of the spotlight, and he's just emerged and appeared into the spotlight at the last minute. But for Donald Trump, unfortunately, we've had 4 years of people being told how bad he is. So it creates a difficult situation for any president who's already in power to shake. So now it looks like, despite that, Joe Biden is going to be president. It appears to be the case. I've listened to some of his speeches and his rallies, and he emphasized control, how he's going to control the virus. And I think that's a little bit scary. The only way that he can control the virus is by controlling people, and that doesn't end well. It never has ended well. And I personally think Donald Trump's approach, which some consider to be lackadaisical, it's the best approach because people need to be responsible for themselves. And the whole fact that Biden has laid this pandemic at the feet of Donald Trump and has blamed Donald Trump for all the deaths that America has had is quite sad because no one man can solve a problem like that. He has encouraged mask wearing. He has done it himself, and people at the end of the day should be responsible for their own health as best as they can. And why is that the case? Because if people are more responsible for their own health, that is going to help them in the long run. Rather than waiting for a national or a federal dictate, they are able to take reasonable precautions for themselves. So we'll see how things pan out. I'm nervous because of the pandemic and how things are going, the transition of power, but we shall see what happens. So I'd love to hear what you think about this prediction Tristan Harris made about the 2020 election. So he stated this in October 30, and that was before the election day. And I'd love to hear what you think about it. Leave me a comment and let us discuss. Hope you're having a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.